Let's start here. Anthony, FSU, who on the defensive line do we have a good shot at landing since we keep getting hit hard there between the transfer portal and the draft? And they just missed out on Nick Skirson. So what
Right.
looks like the defensive line out there right now, Mike?
I would say the defensive end from I would say West Virginia. His name's escaping me. I'll find it in a second, guys. You give me a second. But that's probably the next one that I've heard the most about. He's a guy that I think they've been very involved with, from the start. I'm not even gonna. It's almost impossible to pronounce his name. I'll spell it for Aslan, and I'll let Aslan give it a shot.
Mm.
Tomiwa, last name.
Duro. I got it. I
Yeah,
got it handled.
okay,
We got it.
okay,
We got it.
okay. That's probably the guy that
Okay.
I've heard. So he is supposed to be visiting FSU from what I hear this weekend. He's a guy that they've liked, and there's other guys. There's several guys. I mean, I think they're going to add a couple more edges as far as in my opinion. I could see them adding two more to go along with the one they already have in Marvin Jones Jr. So I think certainly they are not done at edge, and it was disappointing news on the Purdue defensive end because they had, originally he was supposed to visit FSU first. Then that kind of slightly changed. He went to Texas A&M first, and that's probably I think going into that, I think FSU felt like he was for sure going to take their visit regardless, but obviously it didn't turn out that way, and maybe a miscommunication or miscalculation of just how important they were. I mean, he's from I think Bryan, Texas, so certainly it's right down the road from him. So uh, you're going to lose some guys, So unfortunately, that's a tough loss, but I think they'll find their edge guys, and certainly I think they'll fill that position the way they want to fill it.
By the way, our guy from West Virginia, which golly, why does it always happen when I try to copy and paste on the fly like that? Tomiwa, graded out at 64.7 this past year at West Virginia, played in seemingly looks like every single game for them. 14 pressures. He started his career at Kentucky, so Mark Stoops liked him, so that's always probably pretty good
Yeah.
endorsement for you there. So, yeah, man, defensive line. We probably aren't talking about that nearly as much as we probably should, but clearly they realize it. If we realize everybody, I'm sure the staff
Yep.
realizes it well, Michael.
They
So
do.
we do have DJ Uiagalelei in the mix now here. Michael, what do you think about them maybe going after his former teammate in Corvallis, the wide receiver Silas Bolden? Ivy Reese, Scott asking about him, thinks he would be a game changer first day with his chemistry with DJ and such.
Yeah, I mean, I think like you have to be careful of all the teammates you take from a guy that's just coming into a new program. I think Silas is great. I've watched Silas a lot. Like he is a great playmaker, and you're not wrong. Um, I mean, you're not wrong. The guy is a great playmaker, but I have not heard anything about FSU and him. Do I like him? Would I love that? Yeah, but I think you also have to. It's also about the fits too. I'm sure he's a great kid. I'm not saying I know anything behind the scenes, but I think you have to be careful of taking too many guys around that quarterback and coming into a new situation unless everyone is comfortable. Everyone at FSU is comfortable. So from a talent standpoint, yes, but from a culture and making sure the fits there, I think you have to be careful and certainly you study that because I think there's certainly a guy that I think there's a really strong shot with is also a slot guy. I know he's not proven yet in Jalen Brown out of LSU, wide receiver. I think that's one that I feel pretty good about where FSU sits in that. Previously, we were close to winning that recruitment. Obviously, the product wasn't there where it is now with FSU. So it's a lot of factors and all these things that you have to consider going into this stuff. It's not about oh not worrying about feelings and stuff. It's about the whole team in general. And Mike does a really good job of getting guys that fit the mindset of what he looks for in a player. Now, if Silas is that guy, then they go after it. Then go for it. Yeah, he's a certainly Silas is a top-notch playmaker, but so far I have not heard anything with him in FSU.
So what went down today, Michael? Who was on campus? What have you been able to kind of gather from some of these visits that went down earlier today here in Tallahassee?
Well, the first visit wrapped up was Pearson Toomey out of Furman, a two-time All-American in that level of competition. Kind of seemed to indicate like FSU likes him more as interior as a guard or center prospect. He talked about guard more. I think everything clicked perfectly. I think they got what they wanted, but they're also after several guys too at that position. I think Terrence Ferguson's another one that they like.
Ooh.
That's another talented offensive line from Alabama. There's a really good relationship with Alex Atkins. I would not be surprised if you see him on campus before this. I guess this visit time for the transfer portal thing wraps up. So I think that's a guy I could see on campus. I checked to make sure that is this a guy they would pursue, and I was told firmly yes with Ferguson. So I think FSU does a good job of making these visits not like the end all of we need you to commit right now. We want you to see other schools if you need to do that. And I think also understanding that as a person, kind of it connects with the players. You saw that with Pearson today. With he's from the FCA level, so get out there and see some places to make sure you can compare them to us. But I think FSU felt pretty good about just everything and how everything went on that visit. He visited, and then you right now currently you have two linebacker prospects that are on campus. One arrived I think yesterday, and that was Nakai Hill Green, UCF commit. Um, Originally, my mind I'm drawing a blank where he was originally at.
Charlotte.
Charlotte. Okay, so he was at Charlotte, where Alex Atkins came from. So he is on campus. Stephon Thompson, very talented Syracuse linebacker. He got there later this afternoon. He was in there right before we were dipping out of there. So he arrived. I probably want to say around 2. So two linebackers on campus. Earl Little supposed to be there shortly. Defensive back that another one I feel really good about from the South Florida area. So yeah, there's a lot of activity, and it's going to get really heavy tomorrow because you're going to have a lot of potential guys on campus. Two talented receivers that'll be on campus. Wide receiver Lejante Web. Is it Webster? I want to make sure I got it right.
Ooh, what it's Wester. I want to
Wester.
say Webster too, but yeah, it's Wester.
Okay,
Oh, he's
Wester.
coming here. All right, let's
Yeah,
go.
so he's visiting, and then you also have Jabri Barber, who's from Troy. Don't know how you get 999 yards and 5 touchdowns, but that's figure the stat guy would give you a yard or something. But he's also expected to be on campus as well. So certainly they're certainly coveting that receiver position. You kind of sense they're trying to put the pieces around DJU or whoever's going to be the quarterback, to reload this offense and make it even better. And I think also we've been told to expect to see Penny Boone out of Toledo, running back, supposed to be on campus. Then you also have an all-purpose back, Jalen Lucas, who's the brother of Ja'Kai Douglas, both from Louisiana. It's a guy that FSU nearly got the first time, and so there's going to be a lot of talent. And there could be even more. I was told there could be 2 or 3 guys that I don't even have on the list yet, guys that could also be visiting. So a lot going on. I think it'll really pick up tomorrow, where you have somebody's one of these visits maybe wrapping up in Green Hill, and then guys arriving. So it's gonna be a lot going on. I do think potentially there's going to be some good news down the line from what I hear. Potentially multiple good news. So I think there's some stuff going down the pike, but I think overall going to have a lot of talent coming in, and it's just going to keep going until we reach that final day where they can get over there and host visitors.
Sky Ninja's been just dropping doll hairs left and right, man. We appreciate you.
Okay,
What happened to my soundboard? My soundboard went out.
Dollar bills, y'all.
There it is. I was worried for a second.
there you go.
He's asking about Nolan and Stewart. Nolan already committed to Ole Miss, right? Walter
Yeah,
Nolan? Is
that's
there a
correct.
different Nolan?
That's correct.
What about Evan Stewart?
And Evans one is one of those guys that I think could pop in. I know they're working on a visit. I know there's some good intel that feels like FSU's very much in this picture, and more highlights again how vital I think that wide receiver position. They really want to stockpile that thing with. We know they have some very talented guys in Vendravius and Hakeem and Destin Hill, who I was really high on. Just some of the stuff I saw in the. I know the Orange Bowl was terrible, but I saw some nice things from him. And then I think you want to put around some pieces, on offense. One, experience, and then two, maybe just get some young talent to keep stockpiling the talent. So certainly receiver position, Everett Stewart is one that I'm really monitoring. It's one I've been on for a while. I know they're working, hoping to get him in this weekend.
All right. K Jack the Grape, Quinshawn Judkins, running back, Ole Miss. Do you think they'll kick the tires on him?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I think that's definitely one that, in my view, I mean, I haven't heard like stone cold lock that they're going to pursue, but I have a feeling there's going to be a pursuit there. I think he's one of the best running backs in the country. I love what Kushan did, and they recruited him. Yak recruited him previously, so there's a previous relationship there. I know they like him. Certainly, you got a chance to add a talent like him. I think that's one that I think they would pursue. So he's certainly one that I'm keeping an eye on to see if a visit set up or a place that you go see. But I definitely think in my view, that's one that's going to be a pursuit.
Do you think they would take both Wester and Barber?
No, I think it's going to be one pure running back.
A
I think
receiver.
I think
I mean, LeJohntay Wester and Jabri Park Barber. Those guys. You think are those both takes?
I think it's probably two or three receivers. I don't think I can't say they're both takes, but I think they would like to add two or three. But at the same time, it just depends on the guy when they're there, because a lot of these visits aren't just like, okay, we're hosting them, we want them for sure. I mean, there's a lot of maneuvering to see which one that you'll prioritize a little bit more than the other, and then make a decision. But and then there's some that are kind of no brainers that they know they want to push for. But I definitely think receiver seems to be a coveted position that they want to load.
Easy Living asks, have you heard any info on possibly Mateo Uiagalelei, DJ's younger brother, having any interest?
It's funny you mentioned that because Matt was DMing with his dad, and just his dad's, he's like, "What about Mateo?" And he's like, and he gave like the thing, and like he would like it, but I haven't heard anything per se with him entering the portal or FSU. Certainly, if he entered the portal, I think it's the one that they would look into, but I haven't heard anything really serious yet.
All right. A few more as we prepare to head out here.
Okay.
Thoughts on Jalen Brown? How do they look right now when it comes to him, Michael?
I like where it's sitting for FSU. That's a guy that like I previously stated, they were close in that recruitment, but they didn't have the product to match. I think his mom preferred LSU, or the family did. I think Jalen really liked Coach Dugan's coming out of high school. He visited several times. Big time speed guy, real big time wheels. So I think the thing he doesn't get credit for is his route running. I think he sticks his routes really good. I think it's the guy that he also played with Boots on that Gulliver Prep team and Lamont Green Jr. So they're teammates. They have a good relationship, and then I just think he would be a major addition for FSU. Not so much on product, but overall what you're going to get talent wise with him in the whole career. He might take off early on if you're able to land him, but I think overall it's not as much like these other ones like LeJohntay and Jabri Barber, where these are proven commodities. I think he's a guy that really boisters your talent as far as in that room, because you missed on Jeremiah Smith. So it's essentially like getting another high school guy if you can pull Jalen Brown.
What about his teammate Zaylen Hurd?
I don't think there'll be a pursuit there. So read into that whatever way you want to read it. I was told like the fit wasn't there. I want to be nice and do it the nice way. The fit wasn't there. Certainly a talented player, but I just don't think the fit is there as far as what FSU looking for.
I should look this up, but I think he redshirted. He played in 19. I don't know if Maurice exhausted his eligibility, but Jen Fari wonders, with Quayshawn Sapp being gone, do you think they go after a true center?
I do. I think that's one of their main things of interest of these guys. Not just the guy they hosted in Toomey's weekend, but there's going to be other guys. I think they would like a center and a tackle. That's the two positions I heard on the offensive line. So I definitely think they're trying to go after a center to help one push Maurice and two just have some consistent backup so they're kind of covered there because there's sometimes where Maurice has gotten beat up and you want to have an option to go to, and then there's other guys that cross train that position. But I think you'd like to have your one that's like a pure guy there. So I think certainly that's a position I think they're definitely looking into.
Maurice played in 4 games in 19, so he was able to preserve his red shirt. 2020, everybody got a red shirt. 21, red shirt freshman year. 22, red shirt sophomore year. 23, red shirt junior year. He's got 1 more year left. So
There you go.
let's run it back, Maurice. Also, the smash button, the like button, rather. Smash the like button, as Dave Doherty says. Earl Little Jr., question mark.
What's your question?
Somebody said, is he a, Tyler Blevins asked, is he a lock?
I don't think anything's ever a lock, Tyler. But I do like I like their chances. I put on the board yesterday before right when he hit the portal. This is the one I've been waiting on. So it gives me similar vibes to how I felt about when Marvin Jones entered the portal, Marvin Jones Jr. I think this is another one that I feel will move pretty quickly. I like where FSU sits, so there you go.
All right. Thanks everybody for being here. Hit that thumbs up button. Thanks to Sky Ninja, Lucas, James B, Tombo, Jeff Mayers, T Giddy, Thomas Giddings, Joel Davis, Pillar, James B, Pillar as well, Benjamin Haygood, Corey Bates, and Leo Knoll. Michael, you're busy tomorrow and the rest of the weekend, I assume, yes?
Yes, until they tell me to leave and there's no prospects there. I'm going to be there. We'll be there every day. Certainly at development. Matt's done an incredible job with the updates. I've helped some with the updates, and I chime in there. And Matt had some really good nuggets last night on the visits and stuff we're hearing. So we'll have a lot more. Until they're done, which I think January 11th. I think you have the drop in the ad around January 15th or something like that. So I think kids will keep visiting, and as long as they're visiting, we're going to be there, guys, to cover it, and we're gonna give you guys the latest of what's going on. I think it's pretty similar of the target types they want. Certainly want some edge guys, 2 linebackers, as I said, on campus already. Definitely want wide receivers. Would like a pure running back, and certainly a special teams weapon and Jalen Lucas. So I think those are a lot of the different places they want. They'd like to get it some defensive tackle help too. I think that's a position that they're going to look into. So I think Aslan, be honest, like when this all thing shakes out, I think you could see probably 10 or 11 more additions.
Yeah, I was about to say, so they got DJ and Marvin Jones Jr.
Hmm.
We can either count them or not. Let's count them.
Count them.
Do you think they add 8 more to go to
Yeah,
10?
yeah, I think maybe even 10 more.
Oh,
So
all right.
I think it gets to that 12, 13 range.